foundation for my stand-up career. I mean, I got so much professional stage time in front of thousands of people. I got paid. I learned how to work clean and perform in any room. And I think about that a lot. I'm so grateful for it. And I know a lot of you are probably sitting there right now going, well, that's nice. It's cute that you're grateful, Taylor. And we get what you're doing with the church and everything. But we've seen your stuff now. And there's no way you could perform in churches now. And here's the thing, I don't want to. And I probably won't. But I fucking could though, okay? Oh, if I get canceled or some shit, I'm a fucking professional and I will be returning to churches, okay? I will turn this ship around so goddamn gosh darn fast. In a fetus's heartbeat, I'll go back to churches. I will rebrand like you've never seen. I'll get real big hair, marry a man, let him lead. Write a book called Submissive Wife, Submissive Life. Adopt a southern accent out of nowhere. And yeah, I'm going on tour. I have the beginning of the show all planned out in my head. It's going to start off pitch black auditorium. Then on the big screen, I'm only doing mega churches. That's where the money is. On the big screen, a black and white montage, probably starting with the Netflix ba-dong noise. They own my ass for like 8 more years. A black and white montage of all my raunchiest jokes from my 20s. And that's why getting a guy to wear a condom is like, fade out to demon noises. Freeze frame on my young face. Lights slowly come up as I walk out wearing all... You know what? I'm just going to show you. This is how you get pussy! I came so hard. I'll have you know in bed, I am a wild animal, okay? And that's when I stopped believing in God. Go home and Google porn for women, okay? I lost my virginity late. I lost it when I was financially independent.
You guys, I'm literally fucking the patriarchy.
Are you wet? Let me feel. Yeah, I grew up with God. He's a douchebag. That joke makes it sound like I resent my religious upbringing. And I do, so I nailed it. Fucking hell! No Christian parents want to watch their daughter talk about depression and dick for an hour. Take that, Jesus! I don't know if any of you have tried to get a 20-something dude from a dating app to wear a condom lately, but it's sort of like trying to convince a 5-year-old to put a jacket on over his Halloween costume. That's when I stopped. And you guys think I haven't tried to masturbate? Yeah, fucking hell. Jesus. Anybody recognize her? That was me, back when Satan had me in his clutches. And I can see some of you feeling like Joseph on Christmas right now. Like, is this whore lying to me? But everybody loves a comeback, don't they? It ain't a rebrand, it's a rebirth, folks. Welcome to the Prodigal Daughter Tour!
Give me a man after midnight. Give me a man after midnight.
All right, here's some great queer awakenings people sent in. I so appreciate you guys being here. It has been a rough couple years. I got bangs at one point. Shit got dark. I didn't even want bangs. I just needed people to check on me. And it works, by the way. You post a selfie in bangs, everybody's like, fire emoji, you go, girl. Then they text you like, you okay? Here's what I did. I got bangs. And then 2 days later, I did mushrooms for the first time. And as soon as I did those mushrooms, I was like, I should have done these first. Probably wouldn't have gotten these bangs if I forgave myself, huh? But you know what? Having bangs feels exactly like being on mushrooms. The whole time you're just looking at your friends like, do I look weird? You guys would tell me if I looked weird, right? Is it bad different? Is it not good? You know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to do it. It's too late. It's already happening. Okay, no, I can be this person. I really was triggered by the capital G God in my phone because I have religious trauma. Anybody else have religious trauma? Thought you might. If you don't know what religious trauma means, it just means you grew up in church, you're not religious anymore, but now, anytime you feel good, you feel kind of bad about it. Like, have you ever had a dip in the middle of an orgasm? Like, That dip is Jesus spraying you in the face with a water bottle. That's why I don't say, oh God, during sex. He's like Beetlejuice. He'll show up. And to be clear, I'm not an atheist. I just don't know what happens. Neither do you. Spoiler alert, nobody knows. I've never related to the certainty so many Christians feel, where they're like, I just know. You're like, but how do you know there's a God? I just know. The only time I've ever just known something, it was that I had diarrhea. That's the only time. The only time I've ever been like, oh. And I did start praying. But I resent both sides equally. I hate it when people are like, there's no God, it's just darkness, fuck you. And I hate it when people are like, there is a God and here's his address and he loves me best. I just hate confidence. That's really what it is. I cannot stand it when people are too confident. I have one very confident friend. That's it. That's all I can handle in my life. One friend so confident. You know that hot girl in 8th grade who always came into class late with a Frappuccino and you're like, we get it. Your mom had you on purpose. She's like that. In that joke that I have trouble sleeping, DC, please, for the love of God, do not DM me articles after this show. I know you mean well, but I promise you I've read every sleep article out there. 3 ways how to sleep better. It is the same recycled tips over and over and over. Get a light lavender mist to spray on the cold side of your pillow at twilight. What am I, a witch? Make sure it's really dark and quiet in your room at night.
Oh my God, it's supposed to be dark? I'm such a dumb bitch. I've been sleeping under a disco ball because vibes. I didn't know. Okay, dark, quiet, check. Fixed!
Why not leave your cell phone in a different room at night? Why don't you put your baby outside? This is not to say that I'm against sleep advice. I'm just jaded, you know? I think I feel the way about sleep tips the way a lot of men feel about porn, where I'm like, no, I've seen all the basic stuff. Send me something weird. Now I'm going to ask this question, and let me preface this by saying it's totally okay if nobody has an answer. I ask every audience every night. It's nothing weird. If you think that you have a weird sleep tip that I've never heard of. I've read every article, I've listened to every podcast, I've seen a lot of TikToks. I ask this question to every audience every night of this tour. If you think you have a weird sleep tip that I have never ever heard of, I would love for you to raise your hand and tell me what that is. That being said, if anybody raises their hand and goes, have you tried the Calm meditation app? I will have you removed. It's okay if no one has one. Does anyone have a weird sleep tip? Oh, we got a confident one right here. What have you got? Masturbate? Bitch, please. You think I haven't tried masturbating? I don't go to sleep, I come to sleep. Next. All right. What else we got? Thanks for playing. All right, what have we got? There's 2 things. Oh. And I do them in order. Okay. I have to do a handstand against the wall? Okay, yoga. No. This sounds like I need to be hotter for this. I can't. All right. I just want to hear the end. So you do a handstand against the wall. Yeah. Just for a couple seconds. Okay. Yeah, just easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. This is how hot people talk. They're like, just do a handstand for 10 seconds. This is no big deal. You're like, some of us are top heavy. All right. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. And then you sleep upside down. Okay, I haven't heard the handstand part, but I have heard sleep upside down because it changes the bed. Yeah. It confuses your body. Yeah, confuse yourself to sleep. Okay, that's one. I've half heard that one. Okay, so, we'll half give it to you. Anybody else think they have a weird one? Like, really weird. It's okay if nobody does. I'm just curious. You do? Okay, who said woo? All right, do it. What do you got?
Listen to him talk.
Listen to who?
This guy.
Listen to the guy you're with talk? Are you trying to get left? Or are you trying to offload your partner right now? Like, this one's available if he just talks and talks and talks. You fall asleep eventually. This bit right here. Wow, okay. That was fun. We all stepped in a divorce. Wasn't that a good time? That's the first time that's happened when I asked that question. Every night of the tour, never gotten one of those. I can take this boring piece of shit home. All right, this is the last one. What do you got?
Listen to someone's random phone call in the other room. I've listened to my mom have a conversation with my grandma.
You eavesdrop on somebody's phone conversation from the other room. You've listened to your mom talk to your grandma. Did you miss the whole part where I said, I am alone? At least the last girl offered me someone. Have you tried falling asleep to the sound of people who love you in the other room? I would that I could. Okay, well, those hurt my feelings. I'm going to tell you the best one I've heard on this tour. The best one I heard on this tour was a few months ago. There was a woman in the front row. She raised her hand. She goes, I have a weird sleep tip. I said, what do you got? She goes, when I can't sleep, I lay on the floor in the kitchen for 10 minutes. And I was like, okay. And then what happens? She goes, then I get back in bed, I go sleep. This poor girl, abusive parents herself. She's like, oh, you can't. He came out, he goes, thought he found a new angle, right? He comes out, he goes, you know, we always kind of rush through the Christmas story, don't we? Since we all know it so well. But if you ever really stop to think about what this must have been like for Mary, and all the women were like, oh, and all the men were like, no. Which one's Mary again? Oh, are you talking about the vessel? You talking about the hole we put the Lord in? You talking about the Jesus jar? You talking about the Christ cubby? You talking about the Savior sack? You talking about the prophet pocket? We could keep going, but we have to move on. But that's a fun game to play to come down from the cousin fight, if you want. That Mary POV sermon went over so well for him that he came out the next year all excited. Like last year we talked about what it must have been like for Mary to find out she was pregnant with Jesus. But have you ever stopped to think about what this must have been like for Joseph? And all the men were like, finally, representation. I also think whores are lying to me. Joseph was Mary's betrothed at the time. Again, I don't assume everybody knows all the Bible stories. You grew up in church, you're like, everybody's learning these. Nope, some kids were having childhoods on their bikes. Yeah. Is there anyone in here who never went to church, has never believed in God, never been religious at all? Wow, all in the back. That checks out. That checks out. Well, you sound very at peace. You sound so relaxed, but how do you know right from wrong? How do you not kill people? Some Christians talk like that. My dad growing up was like, you know, if I weren't a Christian, I'd be in jail. And I'm like, whoa, I'm 6. Let's do Good Night Moon tomorrow instead of Dad's Dark Thoughts. Some Christians walk around like, yeah, if Sky Dad didn't have me on house arrest, there'd be some mud on my boots. And you're like, cool, let's only hang out in groups. But if you didn't grow up in church, you might not know a lot of Bible stories. You might not know any Bible stories. I won't put you on the spot, don't worry. I used to learn my lesson. One time I asked someone and they panicked and went, VeggieTales! I love my parents. I think if you expect your parents to be perfect, you're immature, okay? Parents aren't just like these magical, perfect beings. They're just people who suck like the rest of us. That's how we should introduce them. Just like, these are my people, Rhonda and Tim. They do what they can. My dad was very overprotective. He had 4 daughters, which means he was just like playing dick goalie. And you don't have to laugh. He hates that joke too. His biggest fear was that one of us would become sexually active before we got married, and some of us have been activated. So that's can't take this back to Best Buy. I spilled some stuff on it, on it, in it. The keys don't work. It's over. So I would hate to be the father of 4 daughters. It seems very stressful. My younger sister's in college. She had lingerie delivered to my parents' house once because she's an idiot with an Amazon Prime account. And my dad opened the box because he's a middle-aged man who pays a mortgage. And if a box comes to his house, that's his box. He didn't talk to anybody about it. He just opened the box, freaked out, and then hid it behind a plant in his room. That was his solution, just like, oh. Well, she can't have sex without her underwear. I really respect my dad a lot. You know why? He was never a hypocrite. He was just as strict with himself as he always was with us. Like, we found porn on my dad's computer once, and it was like the porn of a good man. Like, I think he Googled missionary. Like, I don't even think he was looking for porn. I think he was trying to become a missionary, and he just got lost. The internet just duped him. He's like, that's not my wife. Why is she naked? I'm the only person who's ever found porn on their dad's computer and gained respect for him. It wasn't even porn. It was just a pop-up. And I know that sounds naive to say, but my dad doesn't watch porn. He won't even watch sex scenes in movies and TV shows. One came on in a theater once, and he marched out like it was a protest. He came back 40 minutes later. I was like, wow, remind me to high-five Mom. I'm like, where were you? You missed half the movie. He's like, well, we're not at home. You can't fast forward. And I was like, you fast forward through sex scenes in your own house? He's like, damn straight. God is everywhere. And I said, bless your heart, you deserve to see some boobs that you're not married to every once in a while. So I bought him Game of Thrones on DVD. I said, you can't fast forward. They're talking while they're naked. It's important. I'm so glad I was raised by my dad. I mean, I think I'm so much like him. He's made me the person I am. He's the reason I do stand-up. I don't watch porn, not because I'm against it. I just never got into it, you know? In the same way some adults didn't read Harry Potter, you missed your letter to Hogwarts. I have a friend, hates it. She's like, I hate pornography, Taylor. She calls it pornography, like a loser. And I said, why is that? And she goes, because it sets unrealistic expectations for men and women. It's so unrealistic. I'm like, have you seen porn? It's like very realistic. Like they are fucking. Like what? I think you saw Star Wars. And she goes, no, Taylor, it's unrealistic because those women aren't even finishing, okay? They're faking it. And I was like, yeah, it's super realistic. Isn't that what we're all doing? Fake it till you make it. Back to your place to finish yourself off. Am I right? That's a joke. I've never faked it. I've never loved someone that much. Yeah. I don't hand out trophies for showing up. Grab an orange slice and a Gatorade. Get back down there. Let's see some hustle, Anderson. You guys were absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I thought I was on an antidepressant. It turns out I'm not. It turns out I'm actually on a mood stabilizer that they use as an antidepressant. Fun fact about prescription drugs. Everything they prescribe, they actually use for like 4 different things. So you don't really know what your deal is until you find a combo that works and then Google all your pills by yourself. So after years of trial and error, I finally found a combination of things that worked for me. And 6 months ago, I decided to Google it, because what the hell? And it turns out that everything I'm taking is primarily used for bipolar disorder. So I went back to my psychiatrist and I was like, hey, do we think And she was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, is this how you fucking tell people? And she's like, no, of course not. We didn't know. I'm glad we figured it out. And I was like, we? I said, you really didn't know that I was bipolar? And she goes, no, of course not. We thought we were treating anxiety and depression. And I said, okay. Because this kind of feels like a putting your dog's medication in cheese situation. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this diagnosis. And she goes, well, if it makes you feel better, you don't have to say I am bipolar. You can say I have bipolar, which feels a lot like someone going, I said you were being a bitch. I'm so glad I know that I'm bipolar now. I mean, I have the right meds. I got a mood ring. I'm handling it. But when I first found out, it was a very tough pill to swallow, and I've swallowed a lot of pills. Because when you first find out something like that, you're like, oh man, am I gonna tell anybody? Should I tell anybody? And if I do tell people, am I hot and or talented enough to be an inspiration? Like, if I have a thing and someone else has that thing and they find out I have it too, are they gonna feel good or bad with that information? Because when I got diagnosed, they started listing names. They were like, you know who else is bipolar? Selena Gomez. And I was like, that does make me feel better. She is very pretty. Okay, I'll be bipolar. I did not grow up in a household that was very, like, mental health conscious. Like, we were very religious. I don't know if you've ever tried to tell your conservative dad that you have a mental health issue. It doesn't go great. When I was in high school, I was like, Dad, I think I'm depressed. And he was like, you just need some protein. Get a scoop of peanut butter. Yeah, there's a lot of dads out there just white-knuckling it through life right now. Clinging to a jar of chunky Jif like it's the answer. Just a buoy in the storm. It'll pass. The only mental health advice my dad ever gave me is I was having panic attacks in high school and I didn't know what they were. And I was very stressed out. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I feel like this. I don't know what to do. And he goes, all right. All I can tell you is that when you feel like this, get as far away from the people you care about as possible. Until you feel different. Which is advice you give a werewolf. Like, just run into the woods so you're not a monster anymore. Don't let them see you change. They won't accept you for what you truly are. And I had friends who scared me too when I was trying to get on medication. They were like, ugh, I tried antidepressants. I didn't like how I felt on them. I didn't feel like myself. And now that I'm on them, I'm like, yeah, me neither. It's the best. Okay? And I do feel like myself. I just feel like now someone's sitting on me going, shh, stop talking. You will ruin everything. We are trying to help you. You'd be married right now if you just shut the hell up. Remember that? Yeah, us too. We are trying to help you. Go to sleep. Choose a different adventure. And they warn you about the side effects when you get on medication. They go, you know, your sex drive might go down. And I'll be honest, I have experienced that since I got on medication. But I can't tell if my sex drive is lower or if my self-esteem is just higher now. You know? It's like, am I not in the mood or do I just not need the validation? Which is it? Because depression will bring you to your knees and you're like, well, I'm down here. Might as well make someone feel good. I do not want to waste a trip. If you're not laughing, congrats on your serotonin. And if you're like, what's serotonin? Don't worry, you have enough. I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about it on stage, and then I needed new material, and I was like, fire sale, everything goes. No, truthfully, I was surprised that I felt so bad about it, because I think I'm pretty open-minded, and I don't think anybody should feel bad if they get diagnosed with a mental illness, because it's just information about you that helps you know how to take better care of yourself. Yeah. Being bipolar, there's nothing wrong with it. Being bipolar is like not knowing how to swim. It might be embarrassing to tell people, and it might be hard to take you certain places. But they have arm floaties. And if you just take your arm floaties, you can go wherever the hell you want. And I know some of you are like, but Taylor, what if people judge me for taking arm floaties? Well, those people don't care if you live or die. So maybe who cares? Maybe fuck those people a little. I don't know. That being said, you have to take your arm floaties. Because it's not cool to know you can't swim, go to the public pool anyway, and jump into the deep end, making it everyone else's problem. And you're thrashing around going, I'm good. They're like, you're literally drowning. And then someone nice and handsome jumps in to help you. And you're like, see, I'm fine. I can totally swim. And they're like, no, you're holding him underwater. You turned Kevin into an arm floaty. And that's not a fair relationship for Kevin. Then someone floats by you on their back and you're like, what was that? And they're like, oh, that's someone whose parents supported them in the pool. Until they could be trusted not to die. Here are your arm floaties. I was very nervous to tell friends of mine I was bipolar because I thought they would think of me differently. And then I told all my friends, and nobody did. And it was actually pretty insulting. Because I've had friends tell me they were bipolar, and I was like, what? You? You're kidding. And then I told my friends, and they were like, that checks out. That connects a lot of dots for us. I told Dustin, one of my best friends in the whole world, and he goes, yeah, your mental illness was kind of like your middle name. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that you had one. I actually did get into a new relationship pretty quickly after I called off my engagement. I wasn't trying to. I really wasn't. A lot of my friends were like, you should stay single for a while. You should maybe get a cat. And I was like, hard pass. I have never left an interaction with a cat feeling better about who I was. Every cat reacts to people the way I react to seeing girls I went to middle school with in a Target. Just like, oh no! Like that's every cat. I don't want to come home to that energy. But I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was trying to have like a fun, sexy fling, which doesn't usually go great for me because I have this round, wholesome face that people think they should build a life with. Every time I'm like, we could bone or whatever, guys are like, no, I'm all right. But you could meet my mom. Do you want to do that? You seem like you'd be better at meeting my mom than having sex. And they are not wrong. All right? I will meet your mom all night long. Moms like me so much for no reason. I was dating a guy years ago. We were totally on the rocks having problems. And I went to lunch with his mom hoping to get some advice. And halfway through lunch, she puts her hand on my hand and goes, you know, Taylor, my son's a lot like his father. And if I could go back in time... I don't know that I'd marry his father again. And I was like, are you saving my life in this Panera Bread right now? It was like a movie when an older character sacrifices themselves for the good of the journey. Like, she Gandalf'd me. She's like, fly, you fool! She was a bad mom and a bad wife, but such a good friend. Oh my God. Hoes before sons, am I right? I think about her every day. And my boyfriend wasn't looking for a relationship either when we met. Straight dudes usually aren't, you know? Women are surprised when they find a guy who can make them come, and straight dudes are surprised when they find a girl who can make them feel genuine feelings in their heart. Like, women are like, he got me off 3 times. And guys are like, I mean, I just fucking like her, dude. Like, Like, we talked all day. I didn't want to hit her. It was nuts. She's just like my friend? I don't know. I want to like lick her heart, I think. Straight dudes are so proud of themselves for falling in love. It's really cute. They're like, I love you. Hell yeah, buddy. I knew you could get there. Women fall in love. We're like, I love you. Fucking again, you dumb bitch. You were supposed to love you first. You keep skipping that part. It is eat, pray, then love. Oh, God, it's okay. We'll try again in a year and a half. My boyfriend is 7 years older than me because I need to get back at my dad for some stuff. Older guys are just better. They're just better. You never have to ask them to buy Pepto-Bismol. They just have it in the house. They pull it out after dinner like a nightcap. Like, you want some pink juice, baby girl? You're like, yes, they would. Cheers. Older guys don't call you things like cute or hot. They call you things like stunning, gorgeous, shit with syllables. Things that would take a 20-something guy a little while to sound out. And older guys aren't like cute or hot either. You know, they're handsome, distinguished, like old pictures of your grandpa you shouldn't look at too long. You ever find one of those in an old dusty box? You're like, who is that? Oh, that's wrong. Okay. They're not your family in those pictures yet. They're just the past. It is a gray area. Oh, I'll get weirder. You ever see a picture of your parents when they were young and hot and you get like weirdly mad because you know they would have never dated you? I saw a picture of my dad in college football once. I didn't talk to him for 3 weeks. I'm like, you would have left me at a drive-in, you Danny Zuko piece of shit. He's like, what? I'm like, I can't hug you for a year and I don't want to talk about it. Binged Euphoria too fast. Because I've been trying to date women, but it is so hard. I don't know how to get women to like me. I know how to get men to like me. That's easy. You just trick them. You just wait until they kind of like you, and then you're like, you don't like me. And they're like, yeah, I do. And you're like, no, you don't. And they're like, yeah, I do. And you're like, no, you don't. And they're like, yeah, I do. And you just do that until they get you pregnant, I think. You just have to turn it into a fun challenge for them. Like, bet you can't spend the rest of your life with me. And they're like, fucking watch me, you bitch. It's like when you ask a kid to take out the trash and they're like, no. And you're like, I'll time ya. And he's like, and you're like, see, you didn't even think you wanted to do that. He's like, who cares? I'm the fastest boy alive. Hitting on women is so much harder. It feels so much more delicate. Like, hitting on a woman feels like trying to skip a stone on a lake. Hitting on a man feels like throwing a brick through a window. I'm like, I don't even really care. I just want to see what happens. I'm not going to live here, right? I might be sexist. I'm hearing it now as I'm talking. I think I'm sexist because when a man rejects me, I'm like, this idiot. But when a woman rejects me, I'm like, she probably knows what she's talking about. So I was talking to a friend of mine about it because, you know, you don't want to just like, it's scary to just say you're bisexual because then someone's always like, fucking prove it. Here's a picture of Margot Robbie. Are you wet? Let me feel. Like everyone's real aggressive about it. It's weird. You gotta like prove it to people. But I was asking my friend about it and she goes, well, obviously sexuality is a spectrum. She watched Euphoria too. But she goes, I know that I'm super straight because I could not go down on another girl. I think that's gross. And I was like, okay. Let's think about this, Taylor. Why are you not going down on a girl right now? Is it because it's gross to you? And I was like, no, it's not that it's gross to me. It's that I really don't want to be bad at something as an adult. Okay? My brother is trans, my sisters are gay, and I identify as afraid. I am so afraid of failure. I can't even stick with new hobbies as an adult. How the fuck am I supposed to get good at... Getting good at going down on women to me would be like learning how to play the piano. I would love to have that skill. I would love to bust that shit out at parties, impress everyone. But I don't have the time or humility to sit down and learn new fingerings. I don't have it. I get halfway through Jingle Bells, I'm like, fuck, I suck. I should have started at 12. I'll never catch up. I already know how to play the clarinet. It is not my passion, but I have the respect of my peers. I have many years of experience under my belt, under someone's belt, under some belt. And when I was a kid, I didn't know there was another option. When I was a kid, they were like, you're a girl, you play clarinet. And I was like, what about piano? Could I play piano if I want? And they're like, sure, you can play piano. if you want to go to fucking hell. Anybody else religious trauma? Do we have any of that in here? Okay. I'm so sorry if you don't have any. I know I'm a broken record about it. I should shut up about it, but I keep realizing new things every year. For example, did you guys know that when you come, you're not supposed to yell, "Take that, Jesus"? Did you guys know that? I wish that was a joke, DC. I really do. I used to be a really toxic girlfriend. I've worked on it a lot in therapy over the years. I was a nightmare in my 20s. I was dating a guy once in my 20s, and we were laying on the couch one night, and we weren't fighting, and I thought that was weird. So I turned to him, and I said, "Hey, babe, if you found out that we were cousins, would you break up with me?" And he goes, "Yes." And I was like, "Whoa, fast. No follow-up questions. You're just out like that." He goes, "It's illegal, Taylor." I'm like, "So are mushrooms, and we did those. Now you're this law-abiding citizen just because we're cousins?" He goes, "You're so wrong about this. Ask anyone we know." So I texted the 3 happiest couples in my phone, and I said, "Hey, if you two found out you're cousins, you didn't know when you met, you haven't known this whole time you've been together, you have the same relationship you've always had, but whoops, you're cousins. Would you break up?" And they all wrote back, "Do we have to tell anybody?" And I showed him my phone, and I said, "That's what love looks like." Quick poll. If you found out your partner was your cousin, clap if you would break up with them. Okay. That's a lot of people. No, don't discuss. Fight in the car. Fight in the car. Okay, now, if you found out your partner was a robot, clap if you would break up with them. Oh, interesting. Bit of a drop-off over here. Some of us clap for cousin and not for robot. Okay, so we're going to abandon our family, but we'll keep fucking the toaster. Okay, well, that makes sense. But if any of the relationships that I had in my 20s had worked out, I would not have my dream job. I would not have the career I've always wanted. And I've had a lot of cool experiences just this year as a result of being on my own. I finally got to do some shows in Europe back in April, which was a dream come true. And because I was single, instead of taking someone I was dating, I took my best friend, Courtney. Courtney's been my best friend since we were 10 years old, 20 years. She's seen me through everything. She saw me through depression in high school. She saw my first stand-up show ever. When I called off an engagement a few years ago, she kept my wedding dress in her attic like it was Jumanji. I'm like, just put this where I can't hear the drums. And she and I got to run around Europe paying for shit with my dick joke money. It was awesome. And it was really special to have her on that trip with me because exactly a year before that, last April, I was alone in a green room in Colorado, pre-show, post some breakup. And I got a call from Courtney. And I was like, "Hey, I thought you were on vacation with your boyfriend this weekend." And she goes, "Yeah, no, we are, but I just want to check in and see how you were doing." And I was like, "Oh, that's so nice." And I talked to her about me for like 10, 15 minutes. And finally I was like, "Hey, you're not really saying anything about you and your trip. I mean, are you guys okay?" And she goes, "Oh my God, yes. Oh yeah, no, we're great. We're great. We're actually, we are actually engaged." And I was like, "What? Oh my God, why did you ask about me at all?" And she goes, "I don't know. I guess I just wanted to make sure that you were in a place where you could hear it." It was so sweet and so hurtful. I have never felt so seen and so insulted in my whole life. Her fiance was there the whole time. Oh, she's like, "And then what else?" She sounds stable. She sounds like she could handle it. That's how you know your best friends met the one, by the way, when you can no longer get them on the phone alone ever again. You call them late at night crying halfway through the call. They're like, "By the way, you don't care that Todd's been here the whole time, right?" And you're like, "Oh my God, no. I actually called to see if Todd thinks I have a yeast infection." So glad Todd is available. And don't get me wrong, I love my best friend's fiance. I think he's an amazing guy. If he died, would a little part of me be like, "Sleep over"? Of course. But I really was so touched that she was thinking about me and my mental health during her engagement that I went out on stage that night and I said, before we start the show, can you guys do me a huge favor? Can we make a video for my best friend who just got engaged? And the crowd's like, yeah. So I got my phone, I put it on selfie mode, and I went 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, Courtney! Me and 2,000 people yelling at her. And I got off stage that night and I texted her to the video to say, hey, I love you. I'm so happy for you. And look at all these people who paid to see me. I'm doing just fine. I have one of Hugh Jackman's gloves. Thank you so much, DC. You are absolutely grew up religious. A lot of people grew up sheltered, you know? Round of applause. How many people did not get a sex talk in here? Didn't get one. Round of applause. Oh, yeah, see? All right, now round of applause. Who did get a sex talk growing up? Who did get one? You did right here. Do you mind me asking you how old you were? Is it okay that I'm talking to you? I just want to make sure. If I talk to you and you're not into it, that's completely fine with me. I wouldn't talk to a live entertainer either. Do you consent to crowd work? I need a verbal yes, not just a thumbs up. Yes, see? Not that hard. That's how it's done. All right. All right. How old were you when you got the sex talk? 9. Okay. That seems a little early, but also kind of okay. I don't know how tall you were at 9. Right? Were you asking questions, or were your parents just like, it's time?
My mom took me for a picnic in the garden.
Your mom took you for a picnic in the garden? Fuck you so hard. Are you serious? Your mom took you to a picnic in the garden to tell you the horrors of sex. I'm sorry, I'm having an emotional reaction to that. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. This secret garden sex talk. Holy shit, okay, wow. What's that like, Lorelai Gilmore? Fuck me. So you weren't asking questions or anything. Your mom was just like, it's time. Oh, you were asking questions. See, a lot of people ask questions, and I didn't realize all these kids were so smart. I didn't know we were supposed to be smarter. I never asked any questions when I was a kid, which is so stupid now that I think about it. Because when I was a kid, before I got my period, I had 3 holes, right? I still do. I don't know why I said it like that. I still do, for the record, just for anybody watching. And I still always have had, always will have. I mean, I think when you get your tubes tied, do they seal it? I'm going to Google it. Forget this. This was a tangent. I'll deal with this on my own. But before I got my period, I had 3 holes, and one of the holes wasn't doing anything, right? And I never thought to ask anyone around me, hey, what's this unemployed hole doing between my other 2 holes that are working pretty hard? I just walked around all day like, I don't know, that's my big one. God knows what he's doing. That's where my faith goes. After I saw Music Man, I started calling it my glove compartment, but that is another story. This was my sex talk. So when I was 10, I read what sex was in a book, you know, not planning on it, just kind of like, oh my God, tried to forget. Just assaulted by Judy Blume, quite frankly. And then 2 years later, my dad was driving me home from school, and out of nowhere, he goes, do you know what sex is? And I was like, yeah, Dad, I read in a book. Let's never speak again, right? And he's like, all right, I need you to tell me what it is so I know that you know. My dad made me give him the sex talk. I was like, do you know what it is? He's like, why don't you just tell me what you know, and then I'll tell you what I know. And we'll get to the bottom of this together. I used to ask my parents for relationship advice every time I went through a bad breakup. Don't do that unless you want to learn too much about your parents. I had a terrible breakup in my early 20s, and I remember I was back home. My stepmom was trying to comfort me. She goes, you know, Taylor, there's a guy in my can't sleep. You know, some kids don't have beds, right? Why don't you go lay face down on the cold tile for 10 minutes, see if you're not more grateful after that? And you know what, DC? I tried it, and it works. It totally works. I do it on the bathroom floor in hotel rooms. I've had COVID many times, but I want to get a handle on my anxiety because I know if I didn't have anxiety, I'd be a totally different person. The worrying alone takes up so much mental and emotional energy every day. And it doesn't help. It doesn't prepare you for anything bad happening like you think it will. I told my therapist this recently. I go, I know worrying doesn't do any good, right? I go, what's that one quote by that great philosopher? When you worry, you just suffer twice. She goes, I don't know that one. Who said it? I looked it up. It's from a fucking Harry Potter prequel. I was so confident, I Googled it in front of her. She's like, what philosopher said that? I'm like, Newt Scamander? Shit. I think it was a fortune cookie. Can we just move on? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Without anxiety, I'd have a totally different personality because so many decisions I make in life are fear-based, or so many decisions I don't make are fear-based. I watch the same shows and movies over and over because it calms me down. I know what to expect. It doesn't stress me out. I date the same type of person over and over because I know what to expect. It doesn't stress me out. If you think you have a type, you don't. You have anxiety. See someone. I have 3. I think the biggest difference between having sex with men and women is when you're having sex with a woman, you're there the whole time. You know? Because you know how with a man you can kind of just like... Not in a traumatic way, just in like a, oh, I'm in the back seat on a road trip, forgot my headphones, let's look at clouds. Huh? I did. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Oh my God, yes. A big one. A huge, big, quiet, but big. It's just silent but deadly. I love those. Thank you so much. I've never faked an orgasm because I think our generation got enough participation trophies, but I don't judge you if you have to. We've all been there, right? When it's going too long. If you want to fake an orgasm, here's a little tip from me to you. Just hold your breath for as long as you can. Because then when you're like, it'll seem like you came when really you just came up for air. That's how you get rid of hiccups and Jeremy.